703-203-6695.
I love that guy's voice. He's awesome. Yeah.
How big was it?
So here's the deal. It was about the size of a quarter on my arm. It was raised. It was puffy. The whole thing, it just drained like for a month. And this second thing happened the exact same place.
Wow.
And I sent pictures. Mary can attest to it. Actually, Steve, you're close enough. You can examine it right there with your finger. Do you see? Do you kind of feel something?
Yeah. A pimple.
It's very
hard.
It's a hard.
Nodule.
Yeah, you're right.
Nodule,
We'd
right
have
there.
you take your shirt off to show us, but we're not that kind of show.
I know. I thought of that. I said, well, no, we'll have a little decorum. But I did take photographs, which we will share.
Was it bigger than this?
Have you ever had an X-ray of it?
Guess what? I'm glad you asked that
Or a
question.
CT scanner?
Because at the prompting of Mary, she said, Michael, when are you going in to see the doctor again? And I said, well, Friday.
That's right.
And I went in and talked with my primary care provider doc. Really neat lady. Dr. Jennifer Shin is a really nice person, keeps track of me, all these weird things that happen. And she gives me now a referral to the skin doctor. What do they call
Dermatologist.
it? The dermatologist.
Yeah, open referral.
That's right. She called it a derm referral. I thought that was cool. I'm being dermed. Derm referred. And so I have an appointment already on Wednesday morning with the dermatologist.
Excellent.
And of course, here's the cool thing about this. I actually know this dermatologist from 20 years ago when I interviewed her on another talk show, television talk show that I had out of Edmonds in Puget Sound Christian College. I was teaching a course on Christian radio and television production. Synchronicity. I know this woman. It's going to be really exciting for me to tell her a little bit about what I'm thinking without blowing her mind first.
Good.
And then seeing if she will order maybe an X-ray or an MRI or just to see if there's anything there. My primary care provider thinks it's just kind of what do they call it, a subtaceous cyst or something, right? But here's the deal. It wasn't there just 2 days ago, before my 9/11 electrical lead was placed there.
What was there, Michael?
What happened? I just have
I'm
another
glad
question.
you asked that question.
Well, before all that, though, you had this before.
Yeah.
And this was 15 days after another encounter. Were you having some medical procedure then as well, or no medical procedure?
Yeah.
You were having a medical procedure.
A lead right on the.
Oh, that's right. He did say
site.
that. He did say that. So it was
Same
on the
thing.
same place.
And have
same
you,
arm,
as an expert
same
in
place.
this, have you ever seen that reaction?
Yeah, I've seen allergic reaction.
Yeah,
I've seen massive allergic reaction because the type of glue that they use.
Yeah.
You can have allergic reaction to it.
But wouldn't an allergic
silicone
reaction occur with every lead?
Yeah, it would be with all of them.
Yeah.
That's the unusual
That's what I was
thing.
gonna say, yeah.
It wouldn't be with just one. I mean, and did it happen right away, or was it?
Yeah.
It did happen right away.
Happened right away, but but here's the deal. So before this thing happened, I had a big old crater in the side of my shoulder from the previous explosion because of the lead. It was almost as if you got your smallpox vaccination, that kind of a thing. Yeah. It's quite big. It's about as big as a 50-cent piece, and it's basically indented. This thing popped out right from the middle of it, and guess what? There seems to be a needle
mark
hole, literally going into the middle of this raised thing.
Well, it could be like a gland or a it could be like a sweat gland, but it's hard to believe it would be that sensitive, But it's possible, I guess. You could have one that is always sensitive to that, But it's odd that it just at that same spot. With that glue.
Over the years, I have read different things, and there are many UFO abductees who have similar experiences like that.
You mean about the 15-day kind of like reaction,
I'm talking about the puncture mark and
mark.
the abscess or whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
the cyst or whatever.
Yeah.
I've heard of that off and on throughout the years, and we're talking, since 85?
Well, there is a condition on the scalp that it's just very hard to get rid of, but it sounds like that where you get just raised. There's people that get these. It's incredible. I mean,
because of electro.
No, it's just because of their makeup. It's the way that their body excretes, sweat and stuff.
Okay.
But this is different, but there are extreme reactions that the body.
What I'll do is I will show everyone the photos, just so you can see. They're not X-rated at all. They're just photos of my shoulder.
So
Mary, you could describe what you saw when I showed them to you.
Well, what I wanted you to clarify, though, was before this happened the first time,
yes,
there was something there on your shoulder, correct?
Yes, you're right. Good clarification.
Tell the story. Tell that story.
When was this?
Okay.
15 days before?
There was the real timeline goes that I had this first missing time kind of thing in January 10th of 2012, right in the smack dab middle of a horrendous divorce I was going through.
Stress.
Is that when you went to the PTA meeting?
Yes, exactly. Went to the old parent-teacher meeting, and my son's middle school came home about 8:30, take a picture of the beautiful full moon over the house that I could swear in a stack of Bibles I did, but didn't really do because that would have been about 8:37, and actually the camera roll on the phone that I took it on says 3:37 a.m.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
wow.
And I have two photographs that are totally 14 hours difference that are out of sync in the camera roll thing. So anyway, but prior to that, in October, of that same year, no, October, the previous year,
2011,
I wake up in the morning with a big old knot on my shoulder. So then the thing happens on January 10th. I 15 days after that checked myself into the hospital thinking I'm having a heart attack. Out of the blue. Totally out of the blue, no symptoms, just all of a sudden sweating.
Feel good,
feel like you're gonna die, and my heart is just racing big time. So obviously I was in atrial fib at that point. So I go to the hospital, they slap me in bed and they give me a bunch of IVs and do the EKG thing, overnight, the whole deal. Boom, this thing blows up on my shoulder.
Wow.
That was 15 days after this other thing, but the bump was there prior to the thing on the 10th of January. And then, later on, with my kidney problem, so this would have been 2 years ago now, I had the same problem with atrial fib. They put me on the thing and did this thing, and that's when this thing really blew up.
Wow.
And when you say blow up, what do you mean?
Well, it totally looks like a rupture on your skin. It looks like
a boil or
a big old boil
with pus in it,
with lots of it. Yeah. It was just disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean,
did it feel hot?
Yeah. It was inflamed.
Inflammation. Yeah.
When I actually squeezed it at one point in the bathroom.
Not good.
TMI.
It's like, it was terrible.
Okay, we're there with you. We got it.
Land.
And it took quite a while to heal.
You got infected. It was infected.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but it happened right after. It happened right after.
Really? It could just
no,
be
you could have a reaction like that, an allergic reaction.
Really? And it's just
most
all the
most people that say,
limbs?
"Oh, I had an allergic reaction," they didn't have an allergic reaction. That sounds more like
You got to sit up, buddy.
that
so we
sounds
can
more
see
like an allergic reaction rather than, most people say, oh, I got short of breath, I had a rash and stuff. Yeah, you got a sensitivity. Allergic reaction is really bad.
Okay.
And that's when you just can't, it's just whatever area is affected, you can't breathe.
Here's the weird deal.
Did it spread?
You would think, yes, on my shoulder right here. You would think that I would have an allergic reaction elsewhere,
That's right.
and not 3 times in the same spot.
That is weird.
From different electromagnetic leads. Now, I'm going to hit to the bottom line here. I'm wondering if this is not necessarily an alien implant, but if you've ever heard of the MyLab process and implants, if it was an alien implant, it's typically not going to be an entry wound or any kind of a thing. What do they call that? Reaction to, there's no reaction. So you would not ever have a bump like that. It's possible that some kind of a military thing, it causes these kinds of things because they're not as sophisticated, I think,
Could be.
potentially. So I've always heard the fact that alien abductees are abducted again periodically by the government, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. I'm not saying that I'm anything special, but I'm just thinking that this thing might have been lingering for this thing for so long because it doesn't make sense that it would be, something that if it was the Dr. Roger Lear kind of implant, they say there's no
biological reaction
to
That's right.
the thing
It
being
recognizes it as.
The ones that Lear have removed, they're supposedly made out of sodium chloride. They're just an incredibly interlaced type of molecular design that makes it something so impervious. But when they look at the basic structure of it, it's just salt. That's what's amazing about those implants that he's discovered. When they looked at them microscopically, and it's salt. Like, wow.
Troy, can I ask you, did you get any information from the Grays about how long have they been interested in perhaps Michael for a while, or this is just very, very new?
I did not get information about that specifically, just a little bit about what happened in that hour that we were gone, or up there.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to know if you got the information.
So that's all I got right now.
Well, you also had something else that happened to you.
Did I forget something?
Yeah.
What?
You had a birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I tell you what, I had a birthday. The day I got out of the hospital was September 13th.
Happy birthday
My birthday.
to you.
Well,
And it was kind of cool to get out.
I'll tell you something interesting about that. That's my brother's birthday.
Oh.
I didn't know that his brother. My brother's birthday is September 13th.
This is the guy you're talking about wants to come to our meeting? And,
No. That's my nephew-in-law.
Oh, nephew-in-law.
My brother's the one
Your
that
brother.
made holograms when he was 13.
Oh, yeah, that's
He's a
right.
genius.
You're
He was-
genius,
When he
He
brother.
would skip
away.
school.
The one that-
When it
he
passed
passed
away.
away.
He would skip school and make holograms in the basement.
Wow. Well, that is a
That's a really
synchronicity.
cool
That, of
That
course,
interesting. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh.
yeah.
My brother and Mike have the
So-
birthday.
And one of my
66.
favorite kids.
You're one of your
September
favorite kids?
Oh, really?
He was born September 13th, 2001.
Oh,
Imagine
wow.
that.
Oh, my
Were
gosh.
you born on a Friday?
Well, I don't know about that, but my birthday falls on Friday the 13th, periodically. But I don't know which actual day I was born on.
Okay.
I'll have to check that out. Actually, we can always Google it really easy,
yeah.
and they can tell you, But, yeah, so, gosh, you guys, we got 10 more minutes to go live on Night Dream Talk Radio, and then we can, linger as long as we want on Facebook Live. But what's up with you guys? Anything new?
Well, I started the job this week.
Oh,
and
yeah, how do you like that?
In my head, I am writing my resignation letter as we speak.
Oh, my God.
It's not for this
You had
radio
like
show,
a
but
Uber
a cool
drive.
job. No, driving for, I guess I better be careful, but driving railroad workers between trains.
Oh,
Like
what
they
an
get done
interesting
with
idea.
Oh, fascinating. But I'm not going to do it.
Do you have to do this like in the middle of the night and all that stuff?
I worked like 12 hours last night, got home at about 8:30 this morning.
Oh my God.
And I did it 5 days in a row.